Technology startups with a direct-to-consumer D2C model are disrupting the industry on a scale never seen before. Insurtechs are leading many insurance executives to rethink not just how they deal with customers, but also in how these D2C startups deal with technology. In this deep dive session, James Webb, Head of Product Marketing for Core Insurance at Salesforce Industries, will outline the results of a recent research around distribution conducted by Harvard Business Review, and why traditional carriers cannot afford to ignore the opportunities and challenges insurtechs are bringing to the industry. James will be joined by Sebastian Bongers, Head of Mobility Ventures at Movinx, a new company launched in partnership between Daimler and Swiss Re, which is set to revolutionize the automotive and mobility insurance market across Europe, North America, and Asia.
Hello, I'm James Webb, Head of Core Insurance Product Marketing at Salesforce Industries. A little later, I'll be joined by Sebastian Bongers, who's Managing Director of Movinx, the new joint venture between Swiss Re and Daimler Insurance Services. So we're here today to talk about insurance distribution. Now, making sure your customers can easily access, buy, and use your products and services is vital for any industry. But how can we gauge where the insurance industry is heading when it comes to effective distribution? Well, over the next 5 minutes, I'll be sharing some highlights into recent research onto the subject, but then I'll soon be turning to Sebastian to explore how Movinx is innovating when it comes to motor insurance. So let's start by giving an overview of the research we commissioned. Earlier this year, Salesforce, Velocity, and DocuSign teamed up, and we asked Harvard Business Review to run the study. I should mention quickly here that Velocity is now, in fact, Salesforce Industries. Within that, for the insurance industry, we're really focusing on helping insurers and MGAs achieve their digital business goals as quickly as possible. And that really comes from combining customer engagement processes and core insurance functionality all on one cloud-native platform. So looking at the research, HBR polled 150 people, mostly in North America and Europe. There was a good spread by job function, seniority, and also by size of company as well. So as mentioned, I'll be sharing just some of the highlights of the report, but you can access the full report by simply scanning this QR code, and you should get the full findings. So in terms of findings, let's look first at what people said is driving change within distribution. So first of all, people said that newer tech-based insurance companies are driving the industry towards a much more direct-to-consumer approach. And that's really reflected by the quote you can see here by one of the executives in the study, who said that insurtechs have taught the industry to focus much more on the customer and the buying experience. But that insurtech effect is even more pronounced when it comes to pushing the market towards using technology generally, not just within direct-to-consumer. Now, the next major influence comes from customers. So the same number of people say that customers are pushing the market in the direction of omnichannel product and service distribution. And I think that can be largely explained in terms of modern consumer behavior. We're all very used to these days hopping between different channels and devices. And the last major influence comes from new forms of coverage. So almost 3/4 of people said that the likes of on-demand insurance is already leading to a shift in the way that insurance is being delivered. So I think what we have here is a combination of new technology, modern empowered consumer behavior, and product innovation all coming together to create a much more customer-centric focus on delivery. Looking next at what people said they need to improve when it comes to delivery, many people pointed to the likes of faster claims processing, making sure there's more mobile interaction with their customers, and indeed having more touch points with customers generally, all being quite important. But the number one improvement which came to light was increasing the use of technology, again, for a more direct-to-consumer experience. And interestingly, one of the people who was interviewed as part of the study is a technology analyst, and he really stressed the importance of the cloud and AI going forward in terms of consumer experience and engagements. He also underlined the importance of the cloud itself in terms of delivering a much broader technology choice. So from the report, what's the outlook in terms of distribution? So clearly, direct-to-consumer is set to rise. I think not just for simpler non-life personalized products, but to extend to other lines of business as well. So 64% of people said they expect their own company to increasingly adopt a direct-to-consumer approach. Compare that though to a similar number of people who said a traditional approach of working with distribution partners is going to be effective for the industry. So clearly, a lot of people still believe that brokers and agents are going to be important for distribution going forward. But I think we can ask the question, what about more innovative types of partnerships? What are the opportunities for an insurance company to partner with somebody outside the insurance industry where there's a very strong consumer brand? And how can they embed products and services within those consumer experiences? And I think that broader view was nicely picked up on here by, again, one of the executives who asked a question at the end, what's to say you can't partner with a car manufacturer? Well, what better way of answering that question than looking at a real life example of how it is actually being tackled right now. So I'm now going to talk to Sebastian at Movinx to explore how they are innovating when it comes to motor insurance. So Sebastian, thank you very much for joining us today. Perhaps if I can start by asking, who is Movinx and what does it do?
Hi, James. Thanks for having me. Movinx is a 50-50 joint venture between Swiss Re and Daimler Insurance Services. I am originally from Swiss Re and now becoming one of the MDs at Movinx. And Movinx is an intermediary, specifically an MGA, located in Berlin. And our goal is to launch automotive insurance propositions on behalf of car manufacturers across a range of markets. And to do so efficiently, we'll be using, or we'll be building actually, one underlying technology platform. All with the aim to innovate in the automotive and mobility insurance space and create very flexible and customer-friendly products for the people that purchase new or used vehicles belonging to the brands that we cater to. As an intermediary, we'll be, of course, working together with licensed insurance companies across the markets in which we operate. And by connecting to this one platform that we built, we can bring efficiency to car manufacturers, for them not having to, discuss with many markets, with many insurance companies across the globe when they want to, release or launch one new potentially innovative product across all those markets in a cohesive way. The joint venture is, the shareholders are Swiss Re and Daimler, but the company is open to more partners to join. That can be car manufacturers or mobility providers. So we really try to establish an ecosystem here.
And can you explain some of the fundamental issues which Movinx is setting out to address?
Yeah, so we are experiencing a revolution similar to the magnitude of the Industrial Revolution back in the 18th and 19th centuries. Computational power, artificial intelligence, connectedness, and robotics, they all cause a systemic change that not just affects one sector, but at the same time, many industries. And one of them, of course, being the automotive sector. And we've created Movinx as a response to the rapid developments taking place in the automotive industry, because the trends that we see in the automotive sector are that cars, going forward, will be highly connected, electric, they will be automated or even autonomous, and even the business model is changing from car ownership to mobility programs such as car sharing. Right? So it's cars are even shared, and the insurance sector needs to make sure that its products can cater to that new era of connected, electric, shared, and autonomous vehicles. And that's the idea behind Movinx, to be able to cater to the needs of manufacturers, or cater to the future needs that manufacturers will have when deploying these kind of vehicles on the roads.
So how did Movinx come into being? What's the background? Who was involved?
Well, so Swiss Re back in 2014 developed its automotive strategy, and we've launched a range of innovative products in the market. including a variety of OEM programs, so white labeled programs that Swiss Re developed on behalf of car manufacturers in Europe and Asia. And these programs re-engineered the customer journey. And the results that we saw exceeded our expectations. And I think that is why they became well known within the industry. And then in 2018, Daimler approached Swiss Re as they were looking for a partner who would help them with such a program, especially to sort out their future needs. And Daimler wanted a new insurance setup in which product development, pricing, marketing, and servicing are closely aligned with their specific needs. And that's how it all started.
Why do you think Daimler chose Swiss Re for this venture?
Well, I think I would say that every insurance company that a car manufacturer works with has its own IT system and has its own ideas about what products it is willing to offer or is not willing to cover. And that means that it is not easy for a car manufacturer to launch new insurance propositions or propositions that are geared towards a particular product or a particular car model that they are about to launch. It's very difficult for them to do so, in a holistic and cohesive way across the globe, because it means that they will need to talk to a lot of insurance companies in each of the markets in which they will launch these new cars. And what Movinx does by having this one platform and by having this very strong product development team, we can create a more harmonized offering and launch innovations quicker across the markets, because it's the IT platform, it is the product framework that allows to launch across different markets at a high pace.
So obviously, motor insurance has been around for quite some time. Could you highlight some of the key things which Movinx is going to do differently?
Yes, so I think that there's a couple of aspects to this. I think that the focus and scope are different. So Movinx is a very digital company. That doesn't necessarily mean that we only will go direct, but the focus will be on going more direct. And when it comes down to the composition of the employees, we'll be focusing much less on hiring agents, but much more on hiring people with that excel in tech and people that have a very deep insurance expertise, because I think that we can innovate on the elements of the customer journey. We can innovate on making things more efficient, more automated, and that's what Movinx is focusing on, and not so much on hiring an immense sales force, trying to sell very aggressively insurance products. I think that is not what we aim for. The insurance products will be offered at the moment that the customer purchases a vehicle. Then Movinx we're building up an international business from day one, and I think that is a very important differentiator compared to other companies. Many insurance companies have local entities that drive the business. They have local product teams, local actuarial teams, local IT teams. And Movinx will have one team, and the IT team has the challenge to build an international platform through which we can deploy products locally. So that I think is an important element to Movinx. And we'll be offering automotive programs and mobility programs. We won't enter other lines of business like life and health, right? That does not cater to the needs of a car manufacturer. So we're very focused from that point of view. And of course, it allows us to integrate very deeply with a car manufacturer. for them to distribute the products and for them to offer insurance products and make their customer journey more convenient. But it also allows us to leverage data at various points in the customer journey to increase automation, to increase efficiency, right? To increase customer friendliness. So I think that those are the aspects that really distinguish Movinx as a company.
And then Salesforce is supporting you in this venture. Could you explain the platform that's supporting you? What does it do?
Yeah, so when we went through the tender process and we were looking at different providers, I wanted to have a platform that is a cloud native. That is important to me because we need to be able to scale internationally very quickly. And what sales velocity allows is for products people to configure the products and the processes on the platform itself. And that was important to me because I didn't want to have inefficiencies being created between product teams handing over specifications to an IT team then has to understand and try to interpret the requirements, then build something, then it has to be checked again by the products people. Then you have this iterative process that I think is just creating a lot of inefficiencies. So I wanted a platform on which the developers can directly configure products or rating tables or processes. And that is what Velocity offers. Now, as we went through the process, what I realized is that there's another advantage of using this particular platform, and that is that most insurance platforms are all built on the logic that centers around the individual insurance policy. So the policy goes from quoting to underwriting to policy administration to claims handling. And it has worked thus far, but it doesn't really allow you to be very customer friendly. And what Velocity being built on a Salesforce cloud, what it allows is that the logic is centered around an individual, a customer. And a customer can have more than one policy. A customer might want to have one bill appearing every month and not a bill for the car insurance, a bill for the second car, a bill for the home insurance product. So I think that is something that the platform allows. And for us as an intermediary, right, a customer can have a beneficiary. A customer has a car dealer, and by means of this logic, it allows us to really look at all the stakeholders involved and all the products in a holistic way that a customer has with Movinx.
And then looking at it from the perspective of the local insurer, what's the advantage for them of partnering with Movinx?
Well, you must understand that there are only so many common factors out there. I would say that there's between 5 and 10 large OEM groups out there. But at the same time, there are hundreds, if not thousands, of insurance companies out there, and they would all like to get access to such a car manufacturer, such a distribution or potential distribution partner. And even if you get access, right, it is not easy for an insurance company to serve a car manufacturer because they, of course, want the very best for their customers, right? So you need to have a lot of capabilities as an insurance company to be selected to run such a program. And what Movinx does with our own IT platform, with our own product team, what we do or what we can do, for an insurance company is run such a program and make sure that whatever product that a manufacturer would like to introduce, that product is developed and then run on the platform. So I think that it is just easy for an insurance company to become part of this ecosystem.
Well, Sebastian, it's been fascinating listening to your insights into Movinx. From Salesforce's point of view, it's wonderful to be supporting you in this new exciting venture. So that brings us to the end of our session. We hope you found it useful. If you have any questions about this or to discuss your own digital business goals, please use the contact details you can see below. And we'd love to share with you other examples of how Salesforce is helping insurers across property, casualty, life, and health. So with that, thanks for listening and goodbye for now.